Hey guys, it is Thursday. We made it through the week, kinda almost, yeah. Alright, let's jump into it. The narc caught you at a weak moment. Does that mean you're weak? No, absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But there are moments in time where you are not prepared to fight. You're in transition somewhere from something. More than likely either something traumatic or something that's just extremely life changing. Think back to when you met that narcissist. This won't be for everybody, of course. I mean, everybody's not the same. But I personally believe that when that narc met you, you were transitioning somewhere. You were not prepared to fight. So technically, they sucker punched you, right? Sneak attacked you from behind. You didn't see that coming. Why? Because your focus was somewhere away from something else that held your attention. For example, like say your parents just died or your mother just died or you just lost a job or you just moved or your pet passed away or you lost your vehicle or you just got out of a major breakup and you kind of finally started getting on your feet again. I mean, anything like that, right? It could be anything else. Maybe you just stopped doing drugs or something. Whatever it is, you were in transition towards the higher good, the greater enlightenment of yourself and those around you, right? And that's when that narc, the demon within them, smelled that change that you so awesomely deserved and was like, oh, hell no, gotta get rid of that, right? Then you bump into this fucker. Okay. Um, I feel like it's kind of equivalent to. It makes me think of a butterfly, but you know the cat. It's not a butterfly yet, so the caterpillar gets inside this chrysalis, right? And it's inside this chrysalis. The narc, and it's all. It's got like say like a week before it becomes a full blown butterfly, which is beautiful and amazing. And no one goes, I hate butterflies. If they do, um, I ain't got no words for that. I mean, shit, they're gonna suck cocks in hell or something. But anyway, like so, say like you're like this caterpillar in this chrysalis. The narc is that fucked up ass little fat kid with a stick, with nothing to do on a summer fucking day. Comes over and goes, huh? There's gonna be a butterfly. Poke and pokes a hole in the fucking chrysalis, which does what? Lets in all the type of oxygen doesn't need to be there. We're not going to get too scientific, but we'll just say and stops and stunts the growth. Does it mean it can't become a butterfly? No, it doesn't, but it's going to be real hard journey to completing that task because now there's been a hole punched in that cocoon, right? That it was using to grow and to become better and to emerge as a changed being that is even better than what it once was, right? That's what the narcissist is. They're a fat, fucked up kid with a stick in the summertime punching holes in chrysalises. We just made that up. I just made that up. I don't know if you call it chrysalises, but I'm going to call it chrysalises. So, yeah. Another thing, because honestly, I kind of feel like, and I'm not going to make a separate video about this, I'm just going to tie it into this one. From my experience, the narcissist preys on single mothers, especially. And for those single dads out there, if you're a single dad watching this, the female narc does the same. Just reverse the roles, okay? But I can only speak from my perspective as a woman. I found that the narcissist, um, they prey on single mothers. Why? Because as a single mom, what do they know about single mothers? What do you know about single moms? A good one is going to cook a lot because you're going to feed your kids. If you don't cook a lot, that's fine, but some way or another, you're going to feed your kids, which means they get to eat, right? You're going to more than likely try your damnedest to keep some money somewhere because you want to make sure that you guys are financially secure as much as you can possibly do it. So you're not going to be completely broke, even if you're not financially comfortable, right? What else do they know? They know that you're more than likely going to try your best to keep that house clean. So their lazy ass is not going to do shit. And they like to latch on to that, right? And what else do they know that they think they know? When they see a single mother walking with their child, right? When they establish that this mom is by herself, there ain't no man around, right? Because usually they watch you, so they've been watching you for a minute. At least my ex-narc watched me for like 2 weeks. It's like, I don't see a man. I'm going to go in for the kill, right? Because what did he think? Oh, you don't have a man? You probably really are lonely. You probably like really want some dick. And you probably just want that knight in shining armor to come and save you from your single motherhood, right? That wasn't my case. I was actually healing. I was in transition. I had been a year out of a really bad abusive relationship. And I had just moved back here to DC to be like, hey, starting my life over. I was very excited. You know what I'm saying? And here you have some fucking predator sitting in the wings, waiting in the wings, looking at you be with your child and wondering, is there a man around? And when they don't see one, they're like, oh yeah, okay, she's going to need one of those. I'm going to try to be all those awesome things so that I can get her. And that's going to be an easy target, right? So I believe single mothers are definitely a really, if you're a single mom and you met a narc, yeah, they underestimated you, number one, because single moms are the most badass people on the planet. They are playing the role of a man and a woman against their will, playing the role of a man, and they are tackling that shit better than both sides, okay? They are not only bringing home the bacon, they're making the money to buy the bacon, then they're dragging that bacon and their kids back home to cook that bacon and frying that shit up for the kids, making sure their kids eat, and then they're washing them dishes and cleaning the house. Fuck out of here. So anyway, yeah, so I think they prey on single mothers. One time, other than my ex-narc preying on me because he saw me new to the neighborhood, which he didn't know that I was a DC native, right? I was just moving back to the neighborhood. But he saw me and made that assumption, okay? And he thought that I was going to be easy pickings, you know? And that I was going to be just happy to get some male attention. Fuck out of here. Then, of course, we'll go ahead and throw my dad in this one too. I mean, he's a bitch. So let's go ahead and talk about bitch assness. I remember this kid. Actually, I remember this lady, and I don't remember the lady's name, but I remember when I was growing up and I had those court-appointed, like, visitations with my dad where I had to spend, like, a weekend at his house. There was this lady. He used to take me to her house. Now, obviously, I'm young. I didn't know he was a narc or what the fuck was going on. I'm like 7 or 8. And I'm like, oh, he's visiting this lady. And this lady always gave him, like, stuff, like new furniture, just stuff. And he would give it to, like, random people, like my mom. I still have a mirror from this lady, right? And I just thought she was just like the nicest lady. And she was. And she had a chubby little son named Mansa. I know it's a funky name, but he was cool. She had a chubby little son named Mansa, and she was a single mom. And she came over my dad and stepmother's house one time when I was staying there for the weekend. And she brought Mansa. I learned later, by admission of my dad, right, that he had been fucking this lady outside of his marriage. And she even had the audacity to bring her child to my stepmother's house with my stepmother in it. And my stepmother had no idea that he was fucking this bitch. He just posed her as a chick from church, which she was a chick from his church who brought her son over to supposedly play with me. Like he was being a good dad, but really, no. He didn't really want her over to play with me. He liked he liked to visualize in person that triangulation that he had put them in, right? He liked the thought of her knowing that he was married and his wife not knowing that he was having sex with her. He liked the fact that he got to get that lady in his house as a single. She was a single mom, by the way, right? And he got her in that house in front of the stepmom, and he liked having them both there, with one of them not knowing what the fuck was going on, right? Anyway, single mom though. There's another lady. Now, when my ex-husband rolled out, the first person he went to, who he had been fucking for 6 months apparently, was this fat white bitch, right? And she was a single mom of a mixed child. So either way, they were both technically preying on each other. She was addicted to sucking black dudes' dicks, and he was addicted to fucking over single moms. We won't go into race wars that his mother implanted in him, because that's a whole nother video. But the way his mother brought him up, I understood why he preyed on particularly Caucasian women. But anyway, she was a single mom. And what did he do? Abuse her daughter, right? And what happened when he abused her daughter? She ended up hitting him in the back of the head with a fucking hammer. How did he escape that? It's probably the demon inside of him, you know, that healed the back of his head up, or some shit like Venom from Spider-Man. I'm saying, hurt him out now, you know, but still, she was a single mom too. It was just like what I'm seeing. Oh, and when my dad met my stepmom, she was a single mom too. Hence the reason I have a stepsister who can't stand my dad. She never could, because he was abusive to her as well. And the only comfort we had when I stayed over for weekends, which she was in college at the time, but like a community college, so like sometimes she wasn't there, but when she was there, we were both like basically being abused by the other one's parent. So her mom was being abusive to me, in response to my dad being abusive to her, and it was a big shit fest. So anyway, not to ramble on. I've been rambling for like 11 minutes, 12 minutes now, but I just felt like, wow, the narcissist targets single mothers, or the female narc would target a single father for sure, or the fact that the narcissist will catch you in a time of transition, in a time where you are down emotionally, in a time where you might be a down or in transition financially, or if you're in a time where you're down spiritually, if you're in a time where you're down mentally, any part of the human, I'm just going to call it physique. I mean, it's not, physique isn't the right word, but I'll just say any part of being a human being. If it's spiritual, mental, emotional, financial, all those things, if you're in a time of transition, heavy transition, or in a time where you're slightly down, something about the demon inside of that narc can smell that on your spirit. Okay? Let's get spiritual about it. They will smell that demon in them will smell that on your spirit, to where it's better than Where's Waldo. They can spot you in a crowd. And that's why you met that narc at that weird time. And that's why you weren't prepared to fight them at that time. That's why it's so hard to get up and get out of there, right? Because when you met them, they made sure, like a parasite, to establish entry into that host when it was at a weak state. I bet a lot of animals get penetrated by parasites and parasitic attacks when they're like asleep, or drinking water somewhere, or maybe trying to just eat something to gain strength to continue with the rest of their day. That's when you get attacked. You can even bank that on lions. You can take that shit to the bank. When an animal attacks another animal in the jungle, usually that animal's doing what? When an alligator attacks, that animal's drinking water. He's just trying to not be thirsty so he can continue on with his life. It's a down moment. When that lion attacks a gazelle or anything else, that gazelle was what? He was eating to try to get rejuvenation for whatever else that gazelle had to do that day. Predators attack you when you are in transitional moments of trying to rejuvenate something in your life. Okay? So anyway, I just wanted to touch base on that. I got a lot of creepy nice ones coming for you guys. It is October, and I promised you guys I'd be there through the holidays. And I do celebrate Halloween. I like it. Um, so I'll be here for you on Halloween too, but I'll be here before that too. Anyway, love y'all, and I hope you have a beautiful, awesome day. It's raining here, but hey, at least we're alive, right? And free. Love you. Bye.